Hello all, welcome to Study by Technologies. Before we go ahead with our today's presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Deep Pandey and I'm having around 12 years of IT experience in various MNCs including TCS, Accenture, Samsung and HCL and so on. And having more than 4 years of experience on big data technologies, which include Hadoop, MongoDB, Cassandra, Spark, Scala and so on. I'm an author of a book called Be a Big D, which is actually a comprehensive book on big data and Hadoop. And currently I'm a founder and chief executive officer of Study by Technologies. In our today's session, we'll study about how to control the import within a SQOOP. Control within a SQOOP, what does it mean actually? You might have seen that whenever you are working on any kind of database, you'll be using conditions like where clause, or you may be selecting some specific columns only. So we will see that how we can achieve our results for selective columns, as well as how we can use where clause in our SQOOP query. In our previous videos, we have seen the introduction to SQOOP, and we have seen how we can import the entire table into our HDFS. And we all know very well that SQOOP is actually used to import and export data from our traditional RDBMS like MySQL, Oracle to Hadoop distributed file system. If you have any query, any question, you can refer to our previous videos on that. Now let's move on and see the basic query. As we have already seen, for importing the data, we have command like SQOOP, import, then connect, that is the JDBC. It is our database name, it is actually the MySQL. If it is Oracle, you have to specify it accordingly. Then host name, or if it is the same server, you can use localhost, or if it is a different, you can use the IP address or host name of the server. After that, 3306, that is the port number. Then this one is a database name, that is demo. After that, you have to specify the username. In our case, this is root. And you are specifying -P to ensure that once the query get executed, it should ask the password to you. Then $-M is set to 1 because my table do not have any primary key. Then the table name is EMP, and now I'm going to check only the columns, that is column number 1 and column number 2. And this is my where condition. So we will see three different setups, first with the specific column, second with only where clause, and then we'll see the combination of both also. Then we have a target directory, that is user directory, whatever it is. So now let's move ahead and check out how we can use this SQOOP to control the data. So I have my server ready within it. Let me restart the session. Fine. So let's write our query here. Okay. So again, this is the same set of query almost like what we have already seen in our previous videos. So this is my table, this is the target directory. Now, before I go ahead, let me check about my table also. Just like this way. This was a table from which I want to import some data into my DFS target directory. Let's say my target directory is user study bay underscore 1. Okay. Now this is my table here, and now I only want to have columns like employee ID, employee name, and designation. I don't want the salary column to be imported into my HDFS. So just to specify it over here, after this table, you can specify it, columns within double quotes. You can specify it as employee underscore ID, employee name, and designation. Clear? So only these three columns will be imported to my HDFS, and that is the directory user study bay underscore 1. Now it must ask the password. You can see here that the MapReduce job has been started. It says it retrieved 5 records. Now let us check it out. Hadoop fs-ls user. Okay, my directory file has been created here, part-m 00000. Now I want to read that particular file and check it out, like if the columns, required columns have been imported or not. So let's go ahead. Yes, you can see here, if I try to compare it, in our table I have columns like employee ID, employee name, designation, and salary. But I want to get only these three columns, that is employee ID, employee name, and designation. And you can see here that it generated only three columns, that is employee ID, employee name, and designation. Okay, this is the way you can select your column. Now let us use where clause, and let me find out like something like if we have that there is a employee whose salary is around greater than 30,000 or 35,000. Let's try to find out something from this way. Now on the same query, that what we have to do is like okay, I want to export all the concerned columns. Let's take an example, but I want to use a where condition over here. Let's see how we can use it. Where, so what my expectation was, a salary should be greater than 30,000. Let's say salary should be greater than 30,000. Okay, so ideally it should give us a result for this employee number 1, 2, and 4. Okay, let's take it out. Yes, we need to change the rename the directory as well, where the output directory. Now again, it should ask the password. Okay, the map reduce job has been started. Yes, you can see here that it's just transferred these 3 records. Now let me check it out. What are those 3 records? Let me check it. Oh yes, you can see here that we have these 3 records. That is Amit, manager, 50,000, 55,000, and 35,000 as salary. These values are greater than 30,000, whatever we have expected. Okay, let me clear the screen so that you can have a better view. Now, I want to specify some dual conditions. Okay, so let me make it okay like this. So I want to make it something, some use like let's use some AND operations or something like that. Right, like I'm going to use some dual conditions over here. Okay, and what is the dual condition? I want to make it like I want to get a list of employees whose salary is greater than 30,000 and their designation is manager. Okay, so let me make it. So as you know very well, the designation part is your under this character entry. It's a character entry. So let me make it designation like. Okay, you can check it as manager. Okay, and yes, I don't want all these columns. I only need 2 columns, that is employee ID and employee name. So let me specify that as well. Columns. Oops, 1 second. Columns. I need only employee ID, employee name, like this. Okay. So this is my target directory part 3. Okay, so I hope your concern is clear right now. I'm looking for dual condition over here. The salary should be greater than 30,000 and the designation should be manager. It's like manager. Okay, and I'm only looking for these 2 columns, that is employee ID and employee name. That's it. So let's fire this query. Let me enter the password. Okay, the MapReduce job has been started. Good, it just retrieved these 2 records. Let me clear the screen so that you can have a better view. Let me check it under the directory study bay underscore 3. Okay. Alright, so let's check it out how if the data is correctly moved or not. 3. Oh yes, I have only these 2 columns, that is employee ID and employee name, and that's 2 whose salary is greater than 30,000 and their designation is manager. So this is how you can control your number of columns, and you can put any kind of conditions like whatever you are looking for. Now let's go back to the presentation, and that's what it was expected for today. For more details, if you have any kind of training requirement on big data and Hadoop, so you are requested to visit our website www.studybay.in. Or you can mail us at hr@studybay.in, or you can call us on +91 700 70 34421. If you are planning to go ahead with the self-study, you can visit to pothi.com and purchase my book on this big data and Hadoop with a node number 188662. Thank you so much and have a nice day ahead. Bye-bye.